loves. Welcome to the Other Half series where we discuss the impact of our Father's love or the lack thereof. Today, I am here with Shea, the owner of LYS Boutique. How are you today?
Hi guys, how are you?
I've had the pleasure of following Shea for a few years now on Instagram, and I've just always loved the brand and everything that she stood for. If you aren't aware, LYS stands for Love Yourself. And so I just always thought that was powerful, and I love that she built this fashion and clothing brand off of loving yourself and empowering women. And so one of the things that I have the pleasure of seeing every time that I'm following her is these videos of her and her dad together. So they have the cutest relationship. They're either like playing around with each other. I love the video that he recorded of her praying when she first opened up this beautiful store. And so I've always truly admired it. And once I started the Other Half series, I remember thinking, like, I just have to talk to her and I have to learn more about how this relationship has shaped the woman that she is today. And so that's what we're going to dive into today. So for starters, I would love to know what's your first memory with your father and how did your relationship with him blossom from there?
My first memory with my dad, I basically grew up with my dad. My mom was always at work, so I'll literally be with my dad almost every day. We'll just like go literally anywhere. We went play dates, mall, shopping, like literally everything. So I have a bunch of memories with my dad.
Yeah, so what's your favorite one?
My favorite one, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I have so many. Let me see. My favorite one literally was when I opened up the store.
Oh.
That's so long. It's so into our relationship because I'm older now, but literally I think we really got closer when I opened up the store. It was in a process when we were like go shopping for the store and everything. Like that literally was my favorite memory of my store memory of my dad because we literally bonded within that time frame of opening up the store. Like everything was done so fast and it was like literally a bonding experience for us too.
So walk me through that. Did he help you kind of build it? Was he there on the first day that you opened it? Like what specific aspect of it was just like, this is my homie, like this is my best friend?
So it's kind of crazy because this just kind of fell into my lap. And my dad's a contractor and he's very busy. Like he also has a job outside of his contracting business. And I wanted to open up the store in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. And
I love that.
He had jobs. Like besides him working, he works at CHOP. So besides him working at the hospital, he literally had jobs lined up that he had to do.
Wow.
And I came to my dad like, Dad, I found the place for the store. I want to open up before the holidays. You got to push your clients back. He was in here literally every day.
Oh my God, that's so
for
beautiful.
The whole 2 weeks getting the store together.
That is so
and he didn't
beautiful.
give me no problem. No problem.
Beautiful.
So I was like, yo.
He's a real
This
one.
is my dog. This is my dog. Yes, like he a real one for that.
Yes. So I know we talked more on the surface about just seeing him being there, but what did that really mean to you? Like obviously you grew up with him, you guys have bonded, done all these things, but just seeing him put you as a priority and support you, what did that mean to you?
It meant everything because I grew up kind of spoiled.
Yeah.
So, but my parents also installed being very appreciative growing up and knowing that, you also have to work for everything that you want. And after I was 18, it was like, okay, you grew up spoiled, you on your own now. Like, not on your own, but you on your own. And at that moment, I'm just like, yo, he literally put everything on the back burner to get my business like up and running. And I never really like asked for stuff.
Yeah.
I like always was the kind that I'll just do it on my own. Yeah, I was independent. So when I asked for it, when I told him that and he like did it with no problem, I was like,
I love that. Yes. I love that so much.
That's my dog.
Yeah. So in terms of the store and the brand in general, as mentioned, what I love about it is that everything that you speak about, everything that you build this foundation on is about loving yourself and empowering women.
Yes.
So in what ways has your father empowered you and really instilled this sense of like love inside of you and the woman that you've become?
So I am the baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have 2 older brothers. So I always just grew up off of love. And it's like, we all have our own, like, insecurities and stuff. But my dad was always just like, okay,
Yeah.
own it. Like,
Yeah, you don't like that? Own
you don't
it.
own it.
Yes.
Because literally no one can't use anything against you if you're comfortable with it.
Exactly.
So they always taught me to just be.
It's like if I show you who I am, if I
Yeah.
show you my insecurities and I own it, then what can you say? What can you give back to me?
Yeah. So it's always been like, love yourself.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And what I love about that is that when I interviewed 100 women and I talked to them, some of the women who didn't have their fathers, they had to wait until they were grown women to actually start to hear from other women or hear from people that they love that they were beautiful, that they should love themselves and things of that nature. So I think it's beautiful that at such a young age your father was able to instill that in you. And I think what's even greater about it is that you took that message and you're sharing it with other women. So you have this gem and you're like, now I'm going to share it with everybody else.
Now don't get me wrong, we still always have those moments.
Of course, yeah.
But you always know in the back of your head.
In your back of your head.
Like, listen.
It is what it is. You got to own it.
Yes.
So in terms of like loving yourself and things of that nature, how did your relationship with your dad impact your romantic relationships and really building relationships with other men?
Girl. So, guys I like dated, they see the relationship that I have with my dad and it's kind of like intimidating. Because we're so close. And my dad will literally come at the drop of a dime.
Yeah.
Like, I can call him, like, quick, Craig's in trouble.
He's there.
And my dad's there, and it's like, you gotta find that in your companion.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we're not your dad. Like, no, you need to be my dad.
Yes.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, like, my dad just, he has it. And everyone's looking at him like, or anybody I date is looking at our relationship like,
wow.
Okay, this is what I have
to. Yeah, that's what I have to
It's
compete
not even
with.
a previous relationship. It's like, oh, okay, I have to compete with her dad.
On an everyday basis, he's coming through, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be coming through.
Yeah, so it's like my dad, like, literally.
And what about when, obviously, every girl goes through it, where we're in relationships, and, you know, guys are being guys, we're young, things of that nature. How did you deal with things like breakups and guys, you know, being trash? How did you deal with that, having in the back of your mind that you do have that foundation of love and what it's supposed to look like?
Me and my dad never really had those type of conversations.
I hear that so often.
We never really had those type of conversations. I've always kind of been, like, strong-minded. So they were always like, okay, she's cool, she got it. Unless I came to them with, like, listen, like, I'm going through this with this person and this. They never really gave their opinion unless it was, like, obvious that they needed to.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, they always kind of just let me do my thing.
Yeah. Right.
They always kind of just let me do my thing. So it was like, they never interfered.
Aside from your dad, like, contracting and helping you putting this beautiful story together, what are some, now that you guys have kind of bonded over that, what are some business gems or lessons that he's dropped that you've learned as a business owner?
So I I second guess my abilities.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And my dad is like, you got it. Like, because he's back here and he's watching me.
Yes.
And I'm the one that's actually in it. And I should know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't. Like, I'm literally just winging everything. Not winging everything, but for the most part. And he's like, girl, you're doing this, that, and the third. Like, stop second guessing yourself and just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And I'll still be doing, like, little stuff. And he's like, Shay, what are you doing?
So always there to remind you of who you are.
Yeah, always there to remind me of who I'm and what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, definitely. That's so beautiful. And what kind of lessons, since you did say growing up, you guys have more of like a playful relationship and things of that nature. As you got older, what were some lessons you wish you would have learned from him?
To always trust my instincts. Yeah. He always told me to, like, if you feel it in your gut, then that shit is true.
Definitely.
And I'm like,
No, could
all
you
the time.
second guess yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all the time. So yeah, definitely trusting my instincts a little bit more than what I do now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And my final question for you is, I would love to know what kind of attributes or characteristics that your father have that you would love to see in your husband, and then also that you would love for him to display to your daughter or son in the future.
So my dad is really like, he's really caring, loving. He's always there. He's like my dad is like the superhero.
Yeah.
I want that
Yeah.
in my husband. Like,
and what impact do you think that'll have on you as a wife and then your daughters and sons and things of that nature?
it'll be a beautiful thing. Like, if I can find somebody that's literally like, not just like my dad, but the tendencies that like how he's always there,
Yes.
like he's a provider for my daughter.
Yeah.
And not even just like, it goes beyond you being able to buy stuff and stuff like that. You literally just being there.
Yes. Being present.
Being present.
So powerful.
It's so powerful, especially in little girls and especially
Yes.
in today's world. Like, I feel like we need our dads.
Definitely.
We need our dads.
Yeah.
And like, I know people that's dealing with their daughters and stuff, like not having. It's just a plus.
Yeah. It is such a plus.
It's just a plus, especially in today's world.
Definitely. And we talked earlier, kind of like off camera, we were talking about psychologically, when you look in the psychology books, mothers are there to like nurture, love, cater, kind of be stern, instill those values in you. And fathers are really there to like stimulate you in terms of your personality or your character. If you see on commercials, a lot of times they're the ones playing dress up, playing with puzzles, tea parties, things of that nature. So in what ways did that like very playful and fun relationship that you have with your dad really kind of stimulate your personality and defining who you are?
So the fun things and stuff, that's what you remember growing up.
What is a message that you would want to give young girls who maybe didn't have their father in their lives and they feel like they are missing that aspect of like self-love and being motivated and being supported? What's a message that you would want to give to them?
Like I just stated, it's not, it's either you're going to allow it to make you or break you. And you got to have that vision of the woman that you want to be.
Yes.
And you have to show up as her literally every day. So it's like, be present in who you're inspiring to be.
Definitely.
And try not to live in, whatever you went through, or the past.
Because you're not a circumstance.
Yeah, because you're not what you went through.
Yeah.
You who you are.
Yeah.
And who you're, like I said, inspiring to be. So definitely.
Yeah, that's powerful. Definitely love that, because my point of starting the other half was really just to inspire women to see other women talk about their relationships with their fathers, but then also be able to talk about the woman that they stand and they are today. Yeah. Like, you are not a circumstance of your environment. What you went through in the past is not who you are today.
It does not define you.
It does not define you. The only thing it can do is you're just tougher.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
You're tougher. I feel like people that, like, I was privileged to have both of my parents in my life. Yeah. But I know a bunch of girls that didn't have their fathers growing up, and they're doing some bomb stuff.
They're
like,
so bomb,
so it's like, you're going to let it make you or you're going to let it break you.
The most important thing is that you heal. Yeah. And that you are very intentional about healing and figure out how it impacted you and things of that nature.
You cannot allow things that you went through to determine who you are.
Definitely. I think that is a beautiful note to end on. So I want to give cheers to... Cheers to the other half of loving yourself.
Definitely.